everyone, it's Rosie from Talking About BPD. Welcome to day 2 of my daily DBT videos. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video about observe and describe, which is part of the mindfulness module in DBT. And today's topic is non-judgmental stance. So a core idea in DBT is the concept of being non-judgmental. And this is so important because I feel that so often people with BPD can judge themselves or jump to judgments about things before they really know what is actually happening. So, for example, a really common trigger for me is if I contact a friend, for example, a text messages or WhatsApp or something like that, and they don't reply, I quite often judge the situation as something bad about me. So for example, say I text somebody and they don't reply, I can have quite a lot of judgments automatically, like it's because they hate me, what did I do wrong? I've done something wrong, oh, they're gonna abandon me, they're rejecting me, it's because I'm a bad person, it's because actually they think I'm a nightmare. You know, I often have a tendency to jump into this judgmental stance about what's going on. So in DBT, the therapists teach the people partaking in that therapy to have a non-judgmental stance. So for example, when a friend or a family member doesn't text you back, it's about thinking, okay, rather than judging myself or judging the other person, I'm going to be open to not knowing, you know. Okay, they haven't texted me back, I'll just wait and see. I don't really know what's going on. You have to accept not knowing to be non-judgmental, and I think for me that's one of the hardest things, is that I often want to know something, so I almost make up a story in my mind that fits with how I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling anxious that somebody hasn't texted me back, or I'm feeling embarrassed that somebody hasn't texted me back, then it's almost easier for me to make up a story about what's going on than just accept, okay, they haven't texted me back, I can't make them text me back, and I don't know why they haven't texted me back. Maybe there's a very good reason, you know, I'm sure there is a very good reason. And it's about opening yourself up to not knowing. That's how I see a non-judgmental stance personally. And it's about not jumping to conclusions as well, as I mentioned yesterday. So rather than saying, you know, this is a horrible mug, it's more like, this is a mug and maybe I don't like it, but never mind, you know. It's about having a little bit more of an open-minded attitude to things. That's not to say people with BPD are judgmental. They're, generally speaking, absolutely the opposite. In fact, I know so many people with BPD who are like extremely understanding. I guess I can only speak for myself, but I don't judge people because I've done things that other people have judged, and I know how painful it is to be judged. I've done things and do things that a lot of people don't understand, and I know how uncomfortable it feels when somebody judges you. And generally speaking, judgments are snap decisions that are made without all of the facts. So I guess the idea behind having a non-judgmental stance is to protect you from making a conclusion without the evidence. So in a way, having a non-judgmental stance can protect you from acting on impulse or acting on information that you don't have or information that's not factual. So going back to the example of a friend who didn't text back, if you have a non-judgmental stance there and you judge the reason that your friend didn't text you back is because they're sick of me and I'm just a ball of chaos and they just hate me and they're just cutting me out of their life, then that could make you, and probably might make me, send many texts in a row, or call, or try and contact them, very quickly. And then the other person thinks, what on earth is going on? Like, I just didn't reply because I was at work, or I was busy, or I was sleeping. And then it can cause a complication. So it can be, confusing for the other person, put pressure on the other person, and cause a misunderstanding, and then you have to explain what's going on, and it can just make a situation more tiring or more stressful than it would have been had you waited, or had you not jumped to a conclusion or judged a situation before you had all the facts. That's not to say you can change your judgments, right? So having a non-judgmental stance is not about shutting down your judgments. At least this is not how I understand it. It's more like, if you're having a judgment about something, like for example, my friend's not texting me back, that means I am a terrible friend, just notice that. So this is where observe and describe comes in. I did the video about observe and describe yesterday. In this situation, you could observe, I'm having the thought that my friend is not texting me back because I'm a terrible friend and she hates me. That's my thought. I notice I'm having that thought, and I'm noticing and I'm observing that thought, and I'm describing to myself, that is a thought. It's not necessarily true. That thought is a judgmental thought. It's jumping to conclusions. I can't push my thoughts away. I don't have a magic wand to remove thoughts. Those thoughts do make me uncomfortable. They do make me feel anxious. I can't push those thoughts away. If I try and push those thoughts away, they are probably going to just come back stronger. If you try and not think about something, it makes you, generally speaking, think about it more. At least that's my experience. So it's about noticing and observing and just describing to yourself what's going on. You don't have to act on the thought. You don't have to act. And this is so hard. Embracing a non-judgmental stance and embracing the idea of observing and describing rather than acting straight away is so hard, and I don't always manage it. About a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I did not manage this at all, and I was really struggling with that. And that's okay, because people with BPD, they have extremely strong emotions, extremely kind of gripping thoughts that can feel so intense and powerful and all-consuming. So please, you need to know you can't always get this 100% right. It's a practice thing. It's a thing that's a work in progress, and it's something that you can try, something that you need to, take your time with and master over time. It's not going to be like easy overnight. So yeah, let me know if this video sort of resonates with you, or anything that you find tricky. And I will be back here for day 3 tomorrow. Okay, bye.